My name is Simon. I'm from France. I grew up in the Alps, in the mountains near Italy and Switzerland. And now I live in Paris. I'm married and I have a small daughter. And yeah, obviously I converted to Islam. Before starting to do my, this whole process, I didn't know a lot about Islam. I had a lot of misconception about Islam. We learned the history of the Crusade, the history of colonization and all these things. And in France, we learn about the colonization as, we have this concept of civilizing mission, like the French people civilizing the world. So we had this image of Islam being uncivilized and because we see all the crescent, the moon crescent everywhere, I thought like the Muslims, they were worshipping the moon. Because my grandmother, she told me about Jesus. Like my parents, they didn't teach me religion, but my grandmother, she was Christian. And so I was asking myself, why don't the Jews believe in Jesus? And I realized that in the Old Testament and the Torah and all the books, there was this kind of charter how to recognize a real and a fake prophet, conditions, and that Jesus alayhi salam, he was fulfilling all these conditions. So according to the book of the Jews, they have to follow Jesus. And as a matter of fact, at the time of Jesus alayhi salam, a lot of Jews, they followed Jesus. The first Christians, they were Jews. A lot of them, they didn't, but a lot of them, they followed him. So at this point, I was like, okay, so I believed in the Old Testament, I believed in the Old Prophet, and I believe in Jesus, okay? But then a lot of questions arise. Why don't the Christians practice like the Jews, for instance? Why, like the Jews, they eat kosher, they have a lot of rituals, and the Christians, they don't have any rituals, they don't have any rules. It's so weird. It's the same prophets, isn't it? So I realized, I found in the Bible, I think I have the verses. It's in Matthew chapter 5, verse 17 to 19, where Jesus says, in substance, he says, I didn't come to abolish the law of the prophet, I came to accomplish. And further, he says, the one who changed from the law one letter or one dot will be called the smallest in the kingdom of heaven. It's actually in the present Bible, the official Bible from the Catholics, the King James Version. Like the present Bible says, the one who changed the law or the prophets, he will be called the smallest in the kingdom of heaven. So basically, according to this verse, the Christians have to follow the law of the Jews. I was like, okay, so now I believe in Jesus. I believe that we still have to follow the law of the Jews. And by the way, at the time, I didn't know about the Trinity. So I didn't believe in Trinity. I was on fitra, I didn't know about it, by ignorance. I was like, okay, God is one and Jesus is a prophet. I didn't know God was a God too, according to the Christian at the time. And I remember once I was with a friend in high school from Algeria, and I was speaking to him and he was asking me, what do you believe in? And I told him, well, I believe in this and that and this and that. And he told me, basically you are Muslim. I was like, what? Why do you say that? And he said, well, we believe in the Old Testament, we believe in the New Testament, we believe in that Jesus is a prophet and is not the Son of God. We believe God is one, and we believe we had to eat like the Jews. We eat halal and they eat kosher. It's basically the same thing in all those things. I was like, wow, I didn't know Islam. I was really impressed. That was the moment I learned the Muslims, they believed in Jesus. For me, it was crazy because I remember like in the history books, the Christians fighting the Muslims for thousands of years, like the Crusades and stuff. For me, I was sure 100% that the Muslims, they hated Jesus because they were like fighting the Christians. But no, they loved Jesus, So I was like, wow, like I've been lied for a long time. Like I didn't know that. Basic things. As I told you before, I thought the Muslims, they were worshipping the moon, but they told me we believe in one God. So I was impressed. So the more I searched into Islam, the more coherent it was, the more logical it was. And I really liked the religion because it made a lot of sense. And it was really the continuation of what I've discovered before. But at this moment, I was like, okay, I don't want to follow this religion because I love it. I want to follow or not this religion because it's true, So the next question was, is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam a real or a fake prophet? And so there is a lot of verses in the Injil, in the Torah, in the old books that describe a prophet to come. But the first question is, did Jesus say, I'm the last prophet? And he didn't say that. Nowhere in the Bible you can find I'm the last prophet and this and that. As a matter of fact, he basically announced another prophet to come in many, many ways. And one part is saying he will not talk for himself. He will say what the Spirit of truth, he will not say from himself. He will transmit what he's told. So basically describing that Muhammad ﷺ is speaking from the word of God and not his word. If the first books, the books of the Jews, the first books I believed in, they say explicitly the name of the last prophet, ﷺ, I have to believe it. And I became Muslim. Alhamdulillah.